What's up, guys? Is that how I say it? Or did I say, what's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. I'm your host, Austin Facer. See, I'm a little confused right now, like how I should be starting the show. I had one of those days where I consumed way too much caffeine and I feel like my skin is all jittery right now. But like any high-performance athlete, I'm going to push through the discomfort and perform, give you guys exactly what's needed. This is your twice-weekly show on all things Utah hockey, and I want to thank our sponsor. We have a new sponsor for this month here in September. By the way, it's Hockey Month. Finally, September. Yes! So happy to be in the month where we'll be having hockey again. It feels like it's been a lifetime. We haven't had hockey, NHL hockey, I should say. I've been playing hockey all summer with my men's league team, the WDs, I think was what we're going to call them now, because shows will be back on KSL.com going forward. Family-friendly program. We love it. We appreciate it. We love KSL for their support of SLC Puck. But yeah, I've been playing hockey all summer. But who hasn't been playing hockey this summer? The Utah Mammoth. They've been away. They haven't suited up for a game here in Utah since April, and now we're back. And it feels good. I'm excited. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot that's happened. I mean, the last time we had NHL hockey here in Utah, our team didn't even have a frickin' name. They were the Utah Hockey Club. They've got a name now. They're the Utah Mammoth. They've got a slick new logo, a slick look, and an identity, something to build around, some new faces, and some familiar ones as well that we've come to know and love over the last year. But unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to one of our favorite players because it appears that another team is interested in this player, and we must give them up. It's in the bylaws. It's in the rules. It's part of the mission for the sport. We must surrender one of our best players to the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just the way it is, guys. That's what the reporting out of Toronto has been. I'll get more into that in just a second. But speaking of supporting the team with a fresh new look, you can support this team that has a fresh new look. I'm talking about our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new sponsor, Big Tusk Energy. You might be saying, hey, Austin, isn't that your brand that you threw together overnight on a whim? Yes, it is. Okay. And now it's a legitimate business. I completely redid the web shop here for Big Tusk Energy for fans who know what they're packing, if you know what I'm talking about. Look at this smiling model that I got to take a nice shot in the hat. He looks great. He was not made with ChatGPT. Who would do that? But you can see we have two collections here: Big Tusk Energy apparel, and then the SLC Puck originals. All the mainstays, all the stuff you guys would come to know and love. Please, if it's good looking stuff, I think the stuff looks really nice. This is a great way to support the show. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot this year. Like I said, podcast twice a week. We'll be doing watch parties as well. I'm in contact with a couple of bars in Salt Lake who are interested in hosting watch parties, so I'll have more information about that soon. And hey, if you're so inclined, this is a place where you can also leave a donation that benefits SLC Puck. Period. Right? I have a member of my studio audience here. You may have caught on. I have a girly friend now, and she says "period" a lot, and so it's kind of rubbing off on me a little bit. She likes hockey, but I think a lot of times she sits in and watches the show now. How lucky is she, by the way? And a lot of times, she just has her big smile on her face, and her eyes kind of glaze over. She doesn't know the team that well yet, but she will as she comes to know SLC Puck and the Utah Mammoth better. But those of us who know the team and love the team and who have been watching the show for a while, you know that I bestowed a very high honor upon one of the most important members of the Utah Hockey Club last season. I awarded the annual SLC Pucker of the Year award to the player who best exemplifies the values that we have here at SLC Puck, which is grittiness, toughness, a splash of humor, and just overall a commitment to excellence. And if you remember that episode, it was way back in April. You may not remember it. I gave that honor to Mikhail Sergachev, defenseman for the Utah Mammoth, #1 defenseman, led the team in ice time. I said at many points during the season, especially that first month of the year, he was the most important player for the Utah Mammoth. Karel Vejmelka took control of the crease, at a certain point around November, and he became the Utah Hockey Club's most valuable player at that point, most important player of the season. But Mikhail Sergachev, acquired in a draft day trade last year, came over, had a great year. It was a big chance for him. His first season back from an injury he sustained with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he had a chance. It was his big chance to be a #1 guy on the blue line for an NHL club. He did a terrific job. Had a lot of good scoring punch. He helped the power play out quite a bit. He didn't miss much ice time. Like I said, he led the team in time on ice throughout the season. And the Utah Mammoth, and they're called the Mammoth now. That's just what we're going to call them. They gave up a lot to get him. It was kind of a big trade. They threw some picks Tampa's way, a couple of prospects. They're like, this is the guy. We need him to shore up the blue line. This is very, very important for the trajectory of this team. We're going to make a Stanley Cup run in a little bit here. This is going to hinge heavily on Mikhail Sergachev. But I'm sorry to say, folks, it's over. It's over. He's gone. We're gonna have to say goodbye to our good friend Mikhail Sergachev, because reports are coming in from Mr. Howard Berger in Toronto. If you don't know who Howard Berger is, what are you? What are you? You live under a rock? Howard Berger. He's a former radio host in Toronto. He said he gave a little bit of an unsubstantiated report, and hey, unsubstantiated reports can be the most fun, to his credit, that the Leafs have talked to Utah about Sergachev. This is Howard Berger's tweet here. He goes under Berger Bites. And I'll tell you this, before I get into his tweet, I've come up with a nickname for Mr. Berger. What's your middle name? Cheese? Howard Cheese Berger? You get it? All right. So this is what he said. He said, I'm told the Leafs have talked to Utah about defenseman Mikhail Sergachev, age 27, cap hit $8.5 million, full non-movement clause. Oh, that's interesting to note. 53 points last season for the Mammoth. Creative cap work would be required by Toronto with only $1.9 million in cap space. And look at that. He provided a photo of the new Mammoth uniforms to just bolster that tweet a little bit. So it sucks, guys. This is tough. It's just we have to do our part now as members of the NHL, as members of the greater hockey world. There is no more important hockey city on the planet than Toronto in Ontario, Canada. And so they need a Stanley Cup badly. They haven't had one in decades. It's been well documented. The lengths they're willing to go, the craziness of their fans. They're willing to endanger the lives of their players and their families to win a Stanley Cup. And so if the Maple Leafs need this guy, if they need Mikhail Sergachev to get the job done, it's our obligation to do it. I'm kidding, of course. What the heck is Cheeseburger talking about? This is like one of the most ludicrous things I've ever seen. It's totally unsubstantiated. The replies to this tweet are hilarious. Here's Jazzy Pinkman here, king of the memes, with a dude bonking his head on with a club, in clubber fashion. Our good friend Rod Anderson said that would have been a very brief conversation. He's right. Here, I'll do a reenactment of that conversation right now. I'll play both roles. I'll play the role of Toronto's general manager, and I'll play and whose name you should think I would know. It's not Brendan Shanahan anymore, I don't think. Yeah, I think he's out. I think it's someone else. I should know this. I'll figure it out eventually. But I'll take the role of him, and then I'll also take the role of general manager Bill Armstrong, which will be my favorite part of this exercise, because as has been well documented, I have a big man crush on him. So I'm going to relish that a little bit. But here, this is the phone call that Toronto makes to general manager Bill Armstrong. Okay, are you ready? Hey, Bill. Hey, how's it going? How's the view up there? What's the weather like? Because he's 6'4", he's tall. they're going to rib him a little bit about that. Listen, as I'm sure you've heard, we've kind of, there's been a lot of commotion around here about winning a Stanley Cup. The fans are in an uproar. They're expecting us to bring home the bacon. We lost Mitch Marner. He didn't want to be here. Something about fans, stalking his wife and kids and, doxing his address, putting it everywhere online, whatever. But anyway, we're calling you, Bill, because we really like the Sergachev guy you have. Any chance and no, we can't afford him, but any chance you'd be willing to toss him our way for a couple of second rounders and a ham sandwich? And I'm stealing that from Tom Callahan, by the way. And then Bill Armstrong does this. Hangs up the frickin' phone because that's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. Here, I'll tell you this, Toronto. This is the deal we're willing to make for you here in Utah, okay? At the Hogle Zoo, there is a horse named Mikhail, and he's 7 years old, and he's, as you can see, he's friendly. Here, you can see here on Puckovision, he and his friend Dimitri are eating some produce. They're enjoying their space. By the way, you know what really drives me crazy? I like going to the zoo. Not because I enjoy seeing animals in captivity, but my nephew likes going to the zoo, and it's fun to see him like point at the animals and go, ah, like he's learning how to roar like a lion, which is fun. So anyway, I go to the Hogle Zoo quite a bit, and so I've seen Mikhail. We're willing to trade Mikhail to Toronto, and we will in exchange, you can send us an elephant back, because that's what upsets me most about the zoo is that the horses replace the elephants. So if the Maple Leafs are willing to do that, if they're willing to send us an elephant back to replace Mikhail, the horse, we will trade them a Mikhail. We were not going to trade a Mikhail Sergachev, but we will trade them a horse. So that's my counter offer I would make to the Toronto Maple Leafs. But guys, I so appreciate those of you who are replying to this comment, who are calling it out for being so ridiculous. It is. I mean, just think of like how absurd it would be to trade Mikhail Sergachev. I think there are a couple guys on Utah's roster who are untradeable. Now, we learned recently throughout the summer that, there people make trades. Trades happen in the National Hockey League. We sadly had to bid adieu to two of our favorites, Josh Doan and Michael Kesselring. The donors are still wiping their tears. I've seen them, by the way, they're formulating a big plan for when the Buffalo Sabres are in town. They have something big planned. I don't know what it is. I'd love to get more information on this. For their return, I know they're bedazzling some jerseys. I think the poster scene will be very active. But again, we've seen a willingness to make trades. So it's not impossible, but I don't think it's going to happen unless the Toronto Maple Leafs include Matthew Nyes in that conversation. And I don't think that's going to happen either. So here's what I would say. The list of untradeable guys on the Utah Mammoth are the following. I'm just going off the top of my head. I might miss a few, so don't be mad at me. But I would say Clayton Keller is untradeable. Logan Cooley is untradeable. Dylan Gunther's untouchable. So that whole first line. Nick Schmaltz is very tradable. I'll say that. JJ Peterka, not tradable at this point. And on the defensive side, there's no one more untradeable than Mikhail Sergachev. I think a lot of the other guys, I think that could be in play at some point, perhaps even Sean Dursey. I don't think Karel Vejmelka is particularly tradable either, but you never know. But again, I think there's probably four guys that the Utah Hockey Club, and I just screwed up, they're the Utah Mammoth now, would not entertain any offers for unless it was for something exuberant, like perhaps multiple elephants at the Hogle Zoo. So I think that's totally out of the picture. And just consider, like, not only what Mikhail Sergachev means to this team on the ice, but also off the ice, right? It was very well documented that the Utah Mammoth are going to bring over their two Russian prospects, Daniil But and Dmitry Shimashev. Hey, there's a Dmitry horse as well. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, that they were going to bring them over to the States to give them a run in the National Hockey League, maybe play a little bit in the AHL, but I think at some point we'll see them play with the Mammoth. You really think the Utah Mammoth would send away the guy who's kind of been mentoring these guys all summer, who's a fellow countryman, who can help them assimilate to North American culture, American culture, and even more specifically, Utah culture. Like these poor kids from Russia, they're going to get here and they're going to have no idea what the Hogel Zoo is. They're going to have no clue what fry sauce is. And it's Mikhail Sergachev's job to not only guide them on the ice with, and say, hey, by the way, we practice at the Oval. Yeah, we're going to move over to Southtown Mall. And fry sauce, yeah, it's a weird thing. I learned about it last year. It's like ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together. So anyway, let's get out there and play, guys. He'll say all this in Russian, by the way. But anyway, he has a really valuable role on this team. And it's not only the role he plays on the ice, which is enormous. Again, he leads the team in ice time. It's what he's doing for guys like Boot and Sergachev. So I hate to say this, Cheeseburger, I love you. I'm sure you're a good guy. I've never heard your radio show. I looked a little bit at your website. You're a good writer. I'll tell you that. But again, Mr. Cheeseburger, this struck me as very improbable and unlikely. So it was a fun rumor that was bouncing around on some of the Discords. By the way, SLC Puck Discord still active. We're still looking for our 100th member, and I got a hat to give away when we get there. Oh, I should mention as well. Well, let me just take a little break here to plug some stuff. The Substack signups have been going great. We got like over 100 signups in the last week, so we're marching towards 1,000. Again, when we get to 1,000, I will give away these team-issued Nicky Schmaltz gloves and a stick. So that's going to be a super fun giveaway. We'll give that away to one winner. We'll do it randomly. I'll draw it live on something. I might do it on X. I might do it on Instagram. I might do it here. We'll see, but I'll do it live, so there's no accusations of mischief or malfeasance or whatever. But again, it's exciting. It's a super fun time. It feels like everything in the news, other than Mr. Cheeseburger's reportings, gets me so excited and more, and it just makes it more real that we're in hockey month. Like the other big news that I saw this week, I think this came out, I believe it was yesterday. The Utah Mammoth announced their 2025 rookie camp roster. Some names on there that we've come to know and love over the last little bit. Hey guys, real quick, just want to interrupt the show to give you a message from our new sponsor. It's me. It's my business. It's what I'm doing to help support all this nonsense and tomfoolery we're doing here at SLC Puck. Big Tusk Energy. Yes, I filed the trademark for that. No one else can take that but me. Very smart on my end. But hey, I'll tell you what would be really smart on your end, to get some of this merch. Man, this merch looks awesome. I'm super happy with how it came out. Designs look great. I worked with a professional designer to make it look good. It's kind of got like a nice lifestyle style. You can wear it anywhere you want to flex your Big Tusk Energy, right? And we all know what that is. It's for fans who know what they're packing and they're not afraid to show it. So what you got to do, guys, head to bigtuskenergy.com, or you can head to slcpuck.shop to check out the collection. We got hats, we got t-shirts, we got lots of good stuff. You won't believe it. I encourage you to check it out. And if you'd like, you can make a donation. It's a great way to support the show. But we love you. We appreciate you. And let's get back to that show. I thought it was interesting. I've got it pulled up here on Puckovision. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, just head over to YouTube. This is such a visually driven show. I'm wearing a great jersey. It's a Utah Roller Bees jersey that I got from Bench Clearers. So make sure you check those guys out. They've got a lot of cool stuff. But the names on the rookie roster that we know, right? There's Boot. I know that name. Sergachev. There we go on the defense. T. Jaginla also be reporting. That'll be great. We saw him in the Mammoth uniform this week as well. We saw him today. He was doing a photo shoot for the Topps rookie showcase. I think Topps or one of the Upper Deck, one of the card companies. But you can see here, here's Tej, hitting some poses here. Gosh, he looks good in that. Good looking kid. That's what I appreciate in my prospects. Wearing number 12. That was his dad's number. Obviously, Jerome doing a little bit of some sellies there. Super exciting to see him, getting ready and getting involved with the rookie showcase. We saw Josh Doan do this last year, but he'll be invited to rookie camp, which will kick off September 10th and September 11th at the training facility in Sandy. They'll be at the Southtown Mall. That'll be I think the team's first first skate at the Southtown Mall. That's pretty exciting. He's on this list. Other guys include Caleb Denoyer, although I don't know how much of a participant he'll be. He was ruled out with wrist surgery. They said that about a month ago, I want to say. Said he'd be out for about 12 weeks. I don't think he'll be like a super active participant. Cole Boudouin is another name there. And I think this is going to be a really, really intense rookie camp, and it'll lead into a really, really intense training camp, because I think a lot of these guys on this list, Boudouin, Boot, and I did a whole episode last year where I called this guy Butt for 30 minutes. It's Boot, by the way. One of you very nicely corrected me on that. But again, sorry, Daniil. I called you Butt all for 30 minutes last year. I didn't know you yet, okay? I'm sorry. Sorry. Please forgive me. But he'll be there. Denoyer, again, I don't know how active he'll be. Aginla, another one, Gabe Smith, Maverick Lamoureux, Pazinka, that's a big one. Dmitry Shemashev. One of these, it's the forward group that I'm like really interested in, because I have a really strong suspicion that one of those guys could make the opening night roster. I don't think two will, but I think one will make the opening night roster for the Utah Mammoth. And I think there will be a lot of eyes on this group. The guys that I'm including in that are Boudouin, Boot, not Denoyer, because I don't think he'll be active, and Aginla. I think those guys are going to, and they probably know that as well. There's probably going to be some very fierce internal competition at this camp. When you look at the Utah Mammoth's line combinations here, I'm looking at the daily face-off. Again, it looks to me like there's really only one spot that's up for grabs in rookie camp and then in training camp. And it's this one right here on the wing on the fourth line. I think everything else is pretty much dialed in. I think these are, for the most part, the combinations we're going to see on opening night, right? First line, Cooley centering Keller and Gunther. Second line, Hayton centering Schmaltzy and Peterka. Third line, Boehner centering Lawson Krause and Alex Kerfoot. Fourth line, centering Kevin Stenlin, Brandon Tanev. And they have Liam O'Brien listed here, but I don't think that that's a guarantee for Liam O'Brien. And I'm sure he knows that too after he got a healthy scratch so many times last year. So I think this winger spot on the fourth line is very much up for grabs. Again, those guys that are headed to rookie camp, the three I just listed, Boudouin, Boot, and Aginla, I think those are the guys who are very eligible candidates to grab that position. But there are also some vets in the mix for that, right? Michael Carcone, he re-signed with the Utah Mammoth, the Utah Mammoth, after he said that they were going to part ways back in April. Kyler Yamamoto, he's under contract as well. He's gunning for a spot. The competition for this one spot, it's going to be battle royale. It's going to be like something from the Hunger Games. 6, 7 guys enter, only one guy leaves with this spot. It's going to be pretty electric. It's going to be about as intense as a training camp can get. I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to start with this rookie camp. And I'll tell you, I have this sneaking suspicion. And if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know it's very well documented that I'm right about everything, okay? My studio audience is rolling their eyes right now. I don't know why. If my sister was here, she would be rolling her eyes even harder. And if my mom was here, she would be able to see the back of her skull, with how hard her eyes would be rolling. But again, I feel like I'm right a good deal of the time. And when I'm wrong, it's because of circumstances outside of my control. That's right. I really think the guy who has a sneaky good chance of making this team is Cole Boudouin. I really do. And just think about it. Think about what we know about these guys. Let's just trim it down. Let's say they want to bring up one of those three guys to give them some NHL time this year, right? Aginla, Boot, Boudouin. I think the playing style and what we've heard from Bill Armstrong, and I'm not taking the role of him right now, I'm speaking from what I've heard from him, is that Boudouin is a guy who's a physical specimen. He pushes the pace. He has an incredible work ethic. He is a guy who can set the tone physically. I don't think he's really regarded as like a hyper skilled player or like, maybe the fastest skater in the world, but he's been on the ice a lot this summer. He's represented Team Canada at some big events. I think he was at World Juniors for Team Canada, who had a big letdown. But I think that his playing style could fit really well on that fourth line. Fourth lines are typically the grinders, the guys who put it in the meat tenderizer, the meat grinder, I think is as Tyson Nash calls it. I think Baudouin has a chance to be that guy. I think TJ Ginla, he's a big kid. There's a great video of draft night when the Utah Hockey Club selected him in 2024 where he's showing Marshawn Lynch how to hockey fight. And Marshawn Lynch says, "Damn, boy, you're strong as hell." And I love that video because I'm a huge Marshawn Lynch fan, for one. Go Seahawks. But again, I think his playing style maybe doesn't fit a fourth line. I think he'll have a better chance of playing on the second line. Maybe if they trade Nick Schmaltz or not re-sign Schmaltz this summer and give Tej a chance to fit into the lineup there. Boot is another guy that we're learning a little bit about. I saw him at the rookie, I can't even remember what it's called. It was a thing in Park City a couple months ago. Development camp is what it's called. Boot's a huge kid. He's really big and he's a smooth skater. He could fit in that fourth line. I think what they're going to be looking at in rookie camp, if I had to guess, and I'm just guessing, is they're going to be keeping a close eye on Baudouin and Boot to see which of those two looks most NHL ready. And you could say that guy might have a leg up on the rest of the young guns heading into training camp. That'll be the guy who's competing with the vets like Liam O'Brien, Michael Carcone, Kyler Yamamoto, et cetera, for that last spot. These are my guesses, guys. This is just how I'm seeing this play out. We will rely heavily on our friends in the regular media, the traditional media, to send their reporting back. But these are just my guesses here. All right, folks. So if you have any thoughts, opinions, totally feel free to drop them in the comments. I love when you guys do that. I'll try to address the YouTube comments a little bit more than I have been, so apologies. I do appreciate you guys for your involvement, your engagement in SLC Puck, the content. We'll be cranking out more content as the season gets rolling here. Like I said, we'll be doing watch parties and stuff throughout the season. But we're here. It's September. It'll be a September to remember. Do you remember? I know that's Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I just remember the first three words. I don't want to mess up the rest of the song. Maybe I should have had that queued up. Oh well. We have a lot going on, guys. New sponsor, BigTuskEnergy.com. Getting them in the mix has been tough. Dealing with the owner of Big Tusk Energy, he's a ball buster, I'll tell you. But we worked something out. We took a look in the mirror and we worked something out. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe if you're new to this, for crying out loud. I do this twice a week for heaven's sakes. I got to have some people tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back on Wednesday with more. I almost forgot. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. I almost forgot. Saturday, we have that NHL 26 party at Hall Pass with our friends from the Utah Hockey Podcast and Cottonwood Hockey Shop. So we'll be there. We'll have some fun there. I'm downloading the game tonight, so or I think tomorrow, whenever. But we'll have an advanced copy of the game that we'll be playing, so that'll be a ton of fun. So make sure you get there. Hall Pass Saturday. We'll see you there. Thanks, guys.